Hey, good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I'm your host, BKP. Different kind of Monday morning. Usually like to come in here on Monday ready to go, wide open. Love to get your Monday started off with everybody waking up. But it's a little different kind of Monday. Seems to be happening all too often. First of all, before we start the show, yes, there's elections tomorrow, and we've not forgotten. For some of you on Facebook that noticed, every morning we put up some of the main topics we'll be discussing in the morning. I know the world feels like, some in the world feels like everything surrounds a little town in North Georgia where there's an election tomorrow, but it doesn't. There's a lot of other things going on. But we are going to make sure we have enough time around 9:30, talk about the Hiawassee race for mayor, Blue Ridge City Council and mayor. We're going to make sure we do that. If you did not see that, you're probably wondering, well, tomorrow's election day, you're going to talk about it. We're going to highlight some things in those races about 9:30. But we open up this morning, 26 killed at the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs. Do we have that picture? 26 killed. That's the church. This gunman walked in. Sutherland Springs, Texas. A little town of 400. You know, I come on here all the time and I say we live in the never could happen here area. We tend to sometimes in our area in North Georgia feel it can never happen here. Gunman walked in, killed 26. I'm just trying to think of what that could possibly have been like sitting in worship and that happening. Anyhow, first and foremost, let's start with this. I spoke with, and you need to call your sheriff wherever you're at. Call your sheriff's office. I spoke with Gilmer County Sheriff Stacey Nicholson this morning. If you call the Gilmer County Sheriff's Office, if your church, no matter how small, calls the Gilmer County Sheriff's Office, okay, they will send deputies out to do a risk assessment of your church. I was told that this morning by the sheriff. I'm for sure that's got to be the same in Pickens and Fannin and Union and Towns. I'm for sure of that, okay? But the only sheriff I actually did speak with this morning is Sheriff Stacey Nicholson in Gilmer County. Let me just say to you, I understand. I'm reading all the social media where you're saying your risk assessment is somebody sitting in the church pew with a gun. Okay, fine. I'm fine. I'm okay with that. Your right to defend yourself, fine. But the only thing I'm asking you today is to think about, if you're a pastor or a deacon or whoever you are in your church, call your sheriff and get a risk assessment. They will do a risk assessment. They'll come out, look at your church, see all the areas that somebody can enter, where if you're going to have somebody do security. I will tell you this, I'm not going to mention the church, but I was involved in a risk assessment in a church about 4 years ago, to watch to see if somebody ever walked through the door while the service was going on. So I'm asking you to do that one more time. We'll mention that at 9 o'clock also, for those that tune in at 9. Now, how come the media, let me ask you this question, all right? Immediately you have elected officials, you have people that are saying Republicans caused this. All right. Immediately you have, mental health. We have the mental health issues in this country. Immediately, the discussion on semi-automatic weapons of war. It started immediately yesterday. Immediately. Republicans, weapons of war, semi-automatic, mental illness, who should have the right to get a gun, background checks, domestic history of domestic violence, and all of a sudden you have no rights at all. Everything started yesterday. Now, I'm not going to draw a conclusion, but how come we haven't talked about the shooter in the tents that maybe he's an atheist? Maybe he's an atheist. Maybe he is an atheist connected to the leftist group Antifa. Now, Snopes has already said, because obviously now that can't be true, because Snopes, a liberal-leaning group, already came out and said that's false. But I'm not making that accusation. I'm not saying that right now. I'm just saying, how come there's no discussion that the shooter may be an atheist connected to the leftist Antifa movement who supported Democrat candidates? How come that's not any of the narrative that's out there right now? Huh? How come? And was the Antifa movement, wasn't that this past weekend when they were going to protest in the streets and coast to coast? Just saying. Instead, it's mental illness. Republicans caused it. Must have something to do with semi-automatic weapons. America, don't get fooled. They're coming for your guns. And the only way they could do it is door to door. And I know you think that's outrageous. And I know you think it'll never happen. And I know you keep listening to these Democrat and these liberal, progressive to the left politicians say, I hunt too. I know they continue to tell you they're hunters. And I know they continue to say, I have no problem with a hunting rifle. They're going to come get your gun. And that's the only way they think they could stop this. I'm sorry. I know that's drastic. Okay, another thing we're going to be talking about this morning. Why is Donna Brazile in fear as the DNC chair? Now, no media is talking about that this morning. No one's talking about that this morning. They're all talking about Texas. I understand. MSNBC is talking about Paul Manafort. I don't understand, but I understand what they're doing. They're running cover. No Donna Brazile this morning. Now, she went on George Stephanopoulos yesterday, and she said, I got this down here. I just want to pull it real fast. This is Donna Brazile. Put Donna Brazile's picture up. I think I have it there somewhere. Those that tell me to shut up can go to hell. That's Donna Brazile. Now, she is the former DNC chair. Don't get fooled out there, Republicans. Don't get fooled, the right, that this person has all of a sudden decided to tell the truth. Don't get fooled by that. Be careful with that. I know there's things she is saying that is encouraging. I know when she says about her book, she said yesterday, I'm from Louisiana. Okay? That's what she said. I put a little hot sauce on every page, okay? She put a little hot sauce on every page is what she said. Now, with Donna Brazile, how come there's not the point with any of these people anymore? How come they never say, hey, I don't feel safe. This is a crime. Maybe I should tell the police. But instead they say, no, get me my publicist. Get me somebody who wants to hear my story so I could sell a book. This woman said, and we're going to dig into this pretty deep today. This woman said she didn't feel safe in her DNC office. She would pull the blinds. She mentioned Seth Rich. She mentioned Seth Rich in her book. After the death of Seth Rich, the warning she got, the threat she got, why didn't she feel safe? Why didn't she? Maybe she knows more than she's telling about Seth Rich. Now, folks, let me explain this, and we're going to get in this a little more. We're going to get into this more in the 9 o'clock hour. Deborah Wasserman Schultz okay, put up, I think his name's Awan, Seth Rich, and Deborah Wasserman Schultz. Maybe we're starting to connect the dots here. Now, you'll wake up to hear Paul Manafort, and you'll hear that that Robert Mueller the special counsel has enough evidence to prosecute Michael Flynn and his son, Mikey Jr., okay? That's what you're going to hear on the front pages and all the noise this morning. You're not going to hear that Seth Rich, Awan, and Deborah Wasserman Schultz with Hillary Clinton and what we have found out about how she was running the DNC actually herself. The dots that may be connected. You remember Awan, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, IT guy? You remember the ghost employees that he would make as much as he could, and then there would be a family member start getting the checks, and then a family member start getting the checks? How come everybody has forgotten this story of corruption now that Donna Brazile has brought it out? Now, I spoke yesterday to former homicide detective Rod Wheeler. Okay? Former homicide detective Rod Wheeler was investigating the Seth Rich murder on behalf of the Rich family before he got a cease and desist order from them to stop. He told me yesterday the murder could be solved, and it was close to being solved, and that's all he could say when I spoke to him yesterday. That it could have been solved and still can be. He told me yesterday, watch what happens in the next couple of weeks now that Brazile's come out. And that how, when we were talking on the phone, Detective Wheeler and myself yesterday, we were talking about how Seth Rich is supposed to be taboo to the DNC. They're not supposed to mention it. But she did. And why did she? We also talked about why did Donna Brazile, now, Detective Wheeler and I talked about why did Donna Brazile feel unsafe in her office? Why did she? What threats caused her to feel unsafe in her office? What did she learn that caused her to feel unsafe in her office? We talked about that. But as Detective Wheeler said, watch the next couple weeks and see if Awan, the case there with Deborah Wasserman Schultz, IT guy. You remember Seth Rich was IT on the DNC. Okay? A lot of rumor they knew each other. But watch what happens in the next couple weeks. See, Donna Brazile, I don't want to hear about when Hillary Clinton fainted. Okay? I don't want to hear that about when Hillary Clinton fainted. You see, Tim Kaine, and people, you got to listen to me. Donna Brazile took over the DNC chair leadership, okay? But let's remember, Donna Brazile is professional at running interference and putting a gap. Tim Kaine was DNC chair from 2009 to 2011, okay? Tim Kaine, he was not done. He was not finished. But, okay, Hillary was not going to lose the nomination again. We find out the deal that was made. So Tim Kaine in 2011, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, a lot of people don't realize, Donna Brazile then became the DNC chair. Tim Kaine, Donna Brazile, don't fall for everything Donna Brazile's telling you. Tim Kaine, DNC chair, later becomes Hillary's running mate. I want to talk corruption. My God. Donna Brazile comes in just for the transfer. Just for the transfer from Kaine to Wasserman Schultz, just for that buffer. And then Deborah Wasserman Schultz comes in, and then when caught, Donna Brazile comes back in as the buffer between her and Tom Perez. Don't get caught off by that. Everybody thinks, well, not everybody, but a lot of people think that, you know what? Tim Kaine went straight to Deborah Wasserman Schultz as DNC chair. No, Donna Brazile had a brief buffer there. Deborah Wasserman Schultz previously served, okay, was the national co-chair. See, Deborah Wasserman Schultz was the national co-chair for Hillary Clinton's unsuccessful 2008 run against Barack Obama. Unsuccessful, okay? Wasserman Schultz was elected chairperson of the Democrat National Committee in 2011, replacing Virginia Senator Tim Kaine. On July 24, 2016, Wasserman Schultz announced her resignation from her position after WikiLeaks released collection of hacked emails. I'm telling you right now, she was former DNC co-chair for Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton put Wasserman Schultz in place. They made the deal with the DNC. Hillary Clinton, don't think in 2015 is when Hillary Clinton started running the DNC. Don't think that for 1 minute. Hillary Clinton knew all along that nothing could go wrong, and Wasserman Schultz got the job. Hillary Clinton started running that DNC way before 2015. Don't forget it. And Tim Kaine had a deal. Now, I understand Awan. Why is Seth Rich? Put up, do I have Seth's picture? Okay, this is what they should be investigating. DNC, the payment of the dossier, the payment of the dossier by the DNC, Hillary Clinton, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, Awan. I got one of Awan and Bill Clinton. Is there one in there of him and Bill? Deborah Wasserman Schultz, IT guy. You remember Deborah Wasserman Schultz went to the... All right, put them all three. Remember Deborah Wasserman Schultz went, when Awan was arrested, okay? Remember she went and threatened the Capitol DC police chief. And he didn't play that game. She said, we have control over your budget. Remember that? So what did they find out? We're going to go more into that after. Okay, after 9 o'clock, we'll do some more on that, all right? Maybe a second segment or something, but let's start there. Before we get to 8:30, we're going to have our Monday morning quarterback, Pickens Dragons. I put the hat up here today. We got the Dragon. Oh, you can't see it because it's green. I'm sorry, didn't think about that. But the Pickens Dragons, you can read it. Okay. The Pickens Dragons are in a three-way playoff for third and fourth place, Quad A Region 6. So RJ Casey's going to be with us at 8:30 to explain that play-in game tonight. That's tonight. He's going to explain that. And then also Jason Banks is going to be with us. The Mountain Football League, Super Bowl was this past weekend with the youth football. He is going to talk about that, and we're going to talk a little bit about high school football. That's at 8:30, Monday morning quarterback. Now, you're going to hear all morning long Paul Manafort, okay? You keep hearing Paul Manafort, okay? Put the picture of Paul Manafort up. Paul Manafort was hired by the Trump campaign, all right? And he was hired by the Trump campaign. They needed somebody to do, the greasy work. I know what you're saying here. Well, wait a minute. The other side is the real corruption. But they needed the guy to do the negotiating, the greasy stuff on the floor of the convention. Now, leading up to the Republican convention, you had more news reports by MSNBC, CBS, ABC, all the above, CNN. I have to stop calling those news reports. But you had more reports of this possibly being a brokered convention. A brokered convention. That's all you kept hearing, okay? This could be a brokered convention. Cruz's delegates could break. Trump's delegates could break and go for Cruz. They were counting. The Never Trump was working within the Cruz campaign. There was discussion that Ted Cruz's campaign was working a deal with Trump delegates. All of this you heard daily. Don't forget, folks, we didn't forget. Okay? You heard this daily. So they called what is perceived one of the best guys in the business. Okay? Now, that was Paul Manafort. And Paul Manafort was sent the last couple months. He was there a short period of time, just enough to get things straightened out at the convention. Now go to Reagan Ford, this picture here. Okay, folks, you may not remember this, but this should be 1976. And that's Ronald Reagan, and in the background you're going to see that's Gerald Ford. That was a brokered convention. Now, 1976 brokered convention for Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan was ready to take the convention, the nomination, from a sitting president. Who did Ford call in to work the delegates? Paul Manafort. Paul Manafort. Go to the picture of Gerald Ford. Just says Gerald Ford. I just want to tell you a couple things. There's Gerald Ford. There's Rockefeller, Nelson III Rockefeller, one of the Rockefellers. If you don't remember, just real brief in history, Nelson Rockefeller III, the 5th, the 20th, I don't care. Nelson Rockefeller, his vice president at this time. And there's Gerald Ford at the convention, accepting the nomination from a brokered convention that Paul Manafort worked. Paul Manafort worked briefly for Ronald Reagan, worked briefly for Bob Dole. He had a resume of working the convention floor. He had a resume of getting the delegates needed to get the candidate over the top and work it. That's the only reason Donald Trump did not have anything to do with what Paul Manafort has done with foreign countries and whatever that may be. So I just wanted to put that little bit of history out there because every day all you're going to hear is Paul Manafort, Paul Manafort, Paul Manafort, okay? Papadopoulos was a guy that got to go to the table. Trump meets all day long, 7 days a week. He's meeting with somebody, okay? Did he know Papadopoulos? Yes. Was he real close with Papadopoulos? No. Did somebody tell him that, hey, let's sound strong? Now, this is my prediction. Did somebody tell Trump, hey, let's start sounding as though we understand our foreign policy, we understand foreign gas and oil and all that. Let's start sounding. So Trump says one day, hey, this guy Papadopoulos has got a good background in energy and foreign energy business, and he brings a little bit to the table. Yeah, okay, that's all that is. By the way, folks, whether you realize it or not, it's not against the law to do business in Russia. It's not against the law to do business with the Russians. There are formalities and things you have to fill out and things you have to be transparent about to do it, but it's not against the law. It's not against the law as a candidate to talk to foreign governments. Not against the law. Not against the law to get on the plane. You do your own research. For Barack Obama, Bob Dole, Mitt Romney, John McCain, I know he was a sitting senator, but at that time, you do your own research of how many candidates spoke with foreign heads of state. It's not against the law. They keep putting the news cycle up as though some law has been broken that Trump spoke to a Russian. And we're not going to go into that all morning. Now you have news reports, okay? News reports that Michael Flynn and Little Mike, put Michael Flynn up, former NSA director, national security advisor to Trump. Not that one, I'm sorry, it just says Flynn. What's that? Go ahead and put that back up, because that says, I think that says, I can't.
Enough evidence to bring charges in Flynn investigation.
Yeah, Mueller has enough charges. Now put up Mike Flynn and Little Mike. Okay. Now this one here, okay, that's his son, Michael Jr. That's Michael, former NSA advisor to the President of the United States. There may be things that they did. Maybe they didn't fill out all the paperwork. Maybe. But don't forget, all right? The DNC, John Podesta, and whether you like it or not, and no matter how mad you get, Michael Flynn Jr. tweeted out Pizzagate, and Michael Flynn retweeted it. Never forget the takedown. If you're confused this morning and you don't think the corruption from WikiLeaks, you don't think that this corruption is so bad, you got Donna Brazile, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, is so bad that they have to run cover with Paul Manafort and his foreign connection and Paul Manafort and Michael Flynn and Papadopoulos, that pales in comparison to the evil ones. Don't forget, Michael Flynn retweeted Pizzagate. You're going to say, it can't be that simple. Yes, it is. I'm telling you it is, because I know why they're going after him. I know exactly why they're going after him. Don't forget. Now, let me ask you this. Are you hearing about Facebook and Twitter? I'm almost done here, okay? You're hearing about Facebook and Twitter, all right, this morning. We're going to talk about that more at 9 o'clock. I can't read what that says right there because I can't see it from here. Could you read what it says on that screen underneath them, Sam?
Russia funded Facebook and Twitter investments through Kushner Associate.
Read it one more time, just for me, okay? Slow.
Russia funded Facebook and Twitter investments through Kushner Associate.
Russia funded Facebook and Twitter investments through Kushner Associate. Well, there's a smoking gun, right? Folks, they will tell you, and they started that on MSNBC this morning, okay, of how the Putin money has about 5% of Twitter. Putin money. That's what I hear. Putin money, 5% of Twitter. It's interesting, they never researched Saudi money. The Saudi prince now owns more of Twitter than Jack Dorsey does. Okay, I can't pronounce these guys' names, all right? Saudi prince has increased his holding in Twitter, making him the company's second largest shareholder. Prince, whatever, bin whatever. Well, he's been 5 times. Who in 2011 invested $300 million in the social network, now owns 34.9 million shares of Twitter common stock. At nearly 5.2%, his stake in the company is now larger than that of Jack Dorsey, Twitter's co-founder and newly reminted CEO. So this guy owns more than the original CEO of Twitter from Saudi, but you're listening to news reports all day long of how Kushner, okay, how Russian-funded Facebook and Twitter investments through Kushner Associate. Kushner, who's the associate? Folks, please stop falling for this. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Let me say this before we go to break and we start our segment on Monday Morning Quarterback. Let me say this, okay? You can get your church risk assessment, and I'm going to advise you to do it. I know what you're saying. I've already noticed several of you on social media saying our risk assessment is to, have our guns ready when somebody walks through the door. Look, I spoke to Gilmer Sheriff Stacey Nicholson. He can't speak for the others, but he assured me if you call your sheriff's department today, especially in Gilmer County, they will send somebody out to your church to do a risk assessment. So I'm your host, BKP. Let's take a break, and then we'll go to Monday Morning Quarterback. Sam, take us to break.
I'm Nathan Fitz. I'm running for post 5 seat of the Blue Ridge City Council race. So I appreciate your support on November 7th. So you are in my everyday office, as I like to call it, here at Remax Town & Country, Nathan Fitz and team. We are a full-service real estate brokerage, and I've been doing this for about 20 years now, and I love what I do. I have a passion for this. The people and the friends that I have made from all over the world over the years has really been great. I'm actually glad that you came in this office today, because if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to show you something that motivates me every day, and it's kind of new, so it's fun to me. But behind me there is a new piece of art that I have, and it says, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says, "You can't deposit excuses." And I put that up there because it's a good motivation for me every single day, and it helps me push through when things get a little bit crazy around here, which tends to happen. But I also think it could relate well to the council race, because there's a lot of excuses going around out there, which a lot of you may know. And at this point, I think everybody's in agreement. We all just need to unify. We need to come together. We need to make Blue Ridge better for the residents, for the businesses. And so I thought that would, be very pertinent to the race as well.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Days Chevrolet in Jasper is dropping the hammer. Over $11,000 off MSRP on new Silverados. Just look what we've done to the price on this new LT Crew Cab. Save over $11,000 and pay just $32,500. And Days Chevy is dropping the hammer in a big way on all new Chevy Malibus. Save over $6,500 and pay just $17,900. The savings are real and they're big at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. All I do is win, win.
Hey folks, I'm your host BKP. Good morning. Beautiful Monday morning, and at 8:30 that means it's time for Monday Morning Quarterback. I have on the phone with me, before I bring him in, I have RJ Casey. RJ handles the Pickens Dragons. He has for years. He's been on the sidelines with the Dragons for years. And also Jason Banks, the director of TeamFYNSports. But we're going to start out this morning, Monday Morning Quarterback. We're going to start out, RJ, so Pickens couldn't get past Heritage. Let's not take too much time up with that. We knew that was going to be a tough game, but That puts us in the play-in game tonight. Tell us the details on that play-in game, RJ, for Pickens Dragons.
Well, it's going to start at 7 o'clock. It's going to be played at North Murray at their stadium. And Pickens or Southeast Whitfield won the coin toss. They held a coin toss after all the games were completed. Northwest Whitfield's regular season was done, so they had their bye week. And Southeast played Ridgeland. And Southeast won the coin toss, which meant Pickens is playing Northwest first at 7 o'clock. The winner of that one is in the playoffs. The loser then plays Southeast Whitfield in a winner go home situation.
So who won the coin toss? Let me clear this up. Who won the coin toss?
Southeast Whitfield won the coin toss.
All right. So the first 5-minute matchup will be against who?
Pickens and Northwest will play each other. I think they said it's 2 5-minute halves.
Right. And then they'll play 2 5-minute halves, Pickens and Northwest. Now, whoever wins that will play Southeast Whitfield, right?
No, the winner is in the playoffs, and then the loser of that first game then has to turn around and play Southeast Whitfield. The loser of that game will have finished 5th in the region, and then the winner goes on into the playoffs, and then it becomes who beat who. So say for example, if Pickens beats Northwest,
right,
first, they're in, and then Southeast beats Northwest, Pickens would be the 3 seed by virtue of their win over Southeast during the season.
Okay, you know what? I almost understand that, but I don't, and but I do. All right, I'm with you, RJ, because that's what we have here. We have a play-in tonight It's at North Murray, right? Did you say North Murray?
Yeah, North Murray High School.
North Murray High School. There's a play-in tonight between Pickens Dragons, Northwest Whitfield, and Southeast Whitfield. Correct?
Yes.
And what I do know for a fact is somebody's going to end up number 3 and number 4 in the region.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's move to the brackets. In that means Team 3 would go, whoever's number 3 would go to play Cedartown, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's right.
So whoever finishes tonight and becomes Team 3 goes to play Cedartown. Now, let me be the bearer of bad news. That exactly was not good news, RJ. I don't care how you look. I don't care how you slice that. Going to play Cedartown is not awesome news. But the bearer of bad news that I must be is the other team, Team 4, gets to go and say hello to Cartersville.
Yeah, we get to exchange pleasantries with Cartersville, yeah.
We're going to call it exchange pleasantries with Cartersville. That means exchange pleasantries with Cartersville. So 3 goes to Cedartown tonight to play them Friday night. Number 4 goes to Cartersville. And so how's the team feel and coach feel, and what do you feel about this play-in, RJ?
Well, obviously they're disappointed things didn't work out their way on Friday, but again, you've got another shot, and this is your shot to get in the playoffs. It may not be the most conventional way to get into the playoffs, but it's still a way, and you've still got a chance. And a lot of teams around our area are packing things up for the season while you've still got a shot at making it. So,
well, I agree with that. The only team we follow in that region, particularly, is the Pickens Dragons, and they're the only team going to postseason. And will this be the first time in school history they've gone 5 consecutive years, or is that correct? Am I somewhere around that, RJ? That if tonight they get to postseason, it's the first time in how many years that Pickens has gone back to back?
I'm not sure, like on the olden days, back before my time, but
I thought you were the olden days. What the hell? I thought you. I mean, I'm asking you. You're supposed to know this stuff. You are green through and through.
Yeah, but as far as what I've known, if they make it tonight, it would be 4 straight, and I would believe that would be the first time in school history in like 60-something years of playing football.
Well, good for them. We look forward to watching them tonight. You going over with them tonight, RJ?
Yeah, I'll be over there.
Well, I don't even know why I asked that question. That is our 4A, and just while we have you here, 4A consists of you've got Ridgeland, and I'm trying to look at the bracket. Who are they playing Friday night? Test, RJ. Who's Ridgeland playing?
They've got Chapel Hill.
So Ridgeland's going down to Chapel Hill. Who's Heritage have? Because that's the number.
Heritage is hosting Troop.
So Troop and Chapel Hill. Ridgeland going down to Chapel Hill. Heritage hosting.
Chapel Hill's coming up to Ridgeland.
Oh, they're coming up to Ridgeland. So Chapel Hill's coming up to Ridgeland, and Heritage is hosting Troop. And number 3 in that region is going to Cedartown, and number 4 to Cartersville. I know it sounds a little confusing, but that's what it's like when you get into the 3 and 4 and the balance of some of these regions. Before we get into 3, let's go to 3A here. The only two, the two that we've really followed, Jason, in 3A, GAC and Dawson. Dawson's. Are they hosting Hart?
Yes.
So Dawson will be hosting Hart Friday night. Where's Hart out of? That's your test. I didn't know. I didn't tell you we were going that direction. But where are they out of? Do you know?
I have no idea. All I know is they're not very good. They're 3-8, 3-2 in their region. Hartwell, Georgia. I'd have to look at a map to find that town, man. I have no clue.
It's above us. It's in the mountains somewhere.
Okay.
Because we've been there before.
Dawson's pretty lucky.
So Hart County is number 3, and it's Hart County, and they're traveling to play Dawson, and then GAC is playing Jackson, County, Region 8.
Yeah, yep, and so we could expect that both of these teams are probably going to go on to the next round. Of course, GAC, they took care of business against Dawson on Friday night. The game was over at halftime, like we talked about, or we give you a little leeway there and say it was over early in the third. They got to.
Well, wait a minute. Tell the people why you're giving me leeway. I told you my prediction was that GAC would win, but Dawson would play, and it wouldn't really be over until maybe the start of the third quarter, which I'm close. I'm a little closer than you, but we'll leave it at that, okay?
Fair enough.
I'm not the kind of guy to call you out or anything.
I don't think they ran the clock in that one. So yeah, good performance, of course, as expected by GAC. Dawson County is one of the best teams that we got to see firsthand this season, really. I mean, overall. And so hosting Hart, who's only won 1 game on the road, I'd say that's a pretty good draw.
Well, we probably look to watch them in the next round. What about while we're at it, that 1A? I think it's called the Mountain Region. I forget exactly what it's called, but 1A over there in North Carolina. Murphy went over and took care of business against Cherokee. Just joking around. I think what you did with the Murphy Bulldogs. I think you just kindly took a look at that Swain County game, and
really don't take me to the track or the casino, man, because it's really a good thing that I don't gamble, because when I call these games and I pick them and I'm like, oh yeah, there's absolutely no way, then you can pretty much bet it's going to go the opposite of whatever I say next. So, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, Cherokee hadn't been tested all year long, and then Murphy comes out, they're leading 7-0 at halftime, and Cherokee was probably going, what in the world's going on? Then Murphy puts up a couple of touchdowns in the third and 2 more in the fourth, and and they basically blew them out. It was 35-12, but still, I mean, great job by the Bulldogs. So, and now they got a home game for the first round in the playoffs.
And that's Friday night?
That's Friday night.
Do you know who they are playing?
South Stanley.
Who?
Yeah, they're playing a team called South Stanley. They're 5-6, right? So, Murphy probably be another team we could look forward to seeing. Like we said early on, they could go the stretch,
Murphy could go the stretch, and that means they could go all the way out to Eastern Carolina somewhere and play. That's an 8-hour drive across the state.
Let's save up our fuel points, man. We may need them.
That's you know what that is? That's an 8-hour ride across the state and 3 Golden Corral stops. So, right? Murphy could go that far. Hey, okay. Before we wrap up, Jason, you went to the Super Bowl Saturday, a long day there, a little bit of rain, humidity, sunshine, you name it. But you started at the 6-year-olds and went all the way to the 11-year-olds Saturday. Long day. Just give us some highlights and tell us a little bit about that. Some of the teams that were in the Super Bowl Saturday up here at Fannin County.
Okay, great. So just run through it real quick. The 6-year-olds, East Hall played Fannin. They had a quarterback. East Hall had a quarterback. I think after a while we started to think maybe the play was drawn up. He'd fumble a snap, and then he'd pick it up and he'd run 60 yards for a touchdown. So it's kind of fun watching as the day progressed, and obviously we had all kinds of different weather. We also had all kinds of different players, and as the age groups went up, you got to see the skill level kind of increase as well. 7U, Gilmer got a win over Fannin. Pretty much, I mean, there's not a lot to say there. It was a fun game to watch. Fannin wasn't able to score in that one. But the 8U game between Chestatee and Union, Chestatee started the day out pretty well. I mean, they took a few teams to the Super Bowl. 8U, the Chestatee team was able to score well, but Union, those 8-year-olds from Union County, I'm telling you, 8 years from now, 9 years from now, they're going to be a scary team to play if they hit as hard as they do at 8 years old, because they were putting people down. I mean, there was one point when the Chestatee quarterback got hit so hard, everyone was rushing to help him, and he laid there for probably a good 3 or 4 minutes before they got him up. So it was kind of scary. Pickens beat Chestatee in the 9U game. Pickens played really well. If you want to see some great photos from these games, be sure to go to our TeamFYNSports Facebook page. You need to like and follow our page, because I was tweeting out from our @TeamFYNSports Twitter from the sidelines all day on Saturday. So you got score updates as they were coming through, but also all the photos. After each game, I made sure to head up to the press box. We've got unlimited data, so we were able to upload the photos after each game right there on the spot. It was kind of nice. And I did have some parents that thanked me on the sidelines for doing that. The 10U, Fannin got a win, right? The 10U Fannin team, it was fun to watch them. They played Dawson. That game was the best game of the whole day.
Which one's that?
Fannin, Dawson, 10U. The talent of those players on both sides of the ball was awesome. I mean, and they did not look like 10-year-olds out there. They played really well. And Dawson included. I mean, Dawson County came to play. It's funny, as the Fannin 10U team was going to the field to get ready to warm up, I was actually on the Dawson side in the pavilion, the new pavilion over there on the visitors' side of the stadium, uploading photos from the previous game. And one of the moms for Dawson County came out. She said, "Oh no, is that who we have to play? They're huge." And there was a size difference, but it wasn't that big. I mean, they were all big kids. And then of course 11U Pickens lost to Chestatee 7-0 that last game of the day. I feel like the weather and the fact that the day had drawn on for so long. I mean, it got into the twilight hours there. It got dark, and that definitely probably had played a factor for those teams. But it was still a good game.
Well,
it was a good time.
Let me ask you a question. What did now? Wait a minute. Who won the 11-year-old championship?
The Chestatee over
Chestatee. over Gilmer. And who won the 10-year-old? Did Fannin win that one?
Yes.
Because I was looking at pictures. Fannin won that one.
Yeah.
You know, that was a great day. Believe it or not, when you start getting into 10 and 11-year-olds, you start seeing some of the athletes that are going to go through the middle school and what some of these high schools have to look at in 3 or 4 years. So you got to see where the skill players are going to start developing. Did you not?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and just to kind of add to that, you know, a little third-party credibility to that as well, is the Fannin coaches actually showed up for that 10U game. You know, the high school coach. I mean, Jim Pavo was on the sidelines. So, you know, people taking interest, I think, is the athleticism really does come out at that age.
Well, you know, let me ask you, RJ, for you, I know you really can't get out of the Pickens, get out from under your Pickens hat, and I know how that is. But what is one of the players that you watched this year play in any of these games throughout the region that you really enjoyed playing that is not on the team you cover? Who is that for you, RJ, that you really enjoyed watching play?
This season or overall?
Just overall this year that you were able to watch play. You know, a lot of times we get to go watch these other teams play, and who this year for you was that player that you enjoyed watching play?
I really liked watching the one running back from Brisbane, Markeith Montgomery. He's really good. He's a two-way player. Plays both offense and defense. He is the reigning defensive player of the year for 4A. He's committed to Kennesaw State, and he had a good night running the ball when Pickens played, and he's been really good the last several times we've been able to see him. And he's also a good young man, and I think he's going to do some really good things at Kennesaw State.
What about you, Jason? What is the player that you really enjoyed watching play this year of a team you didn't cover?
Well, I got to say Cole Wright. You know, I mean,
hey, wait a minute! What am I supposed to do now, man? Go ahead.
Nate Umberger would be my defensive pick. He was the hardest hitting player that we saw play. But Cole Wright, come on! I mean, he could have played for just about any team in the region as a starter and would have had a major impact on the way they played football, their whole offensive scheme, game plan, and also if they won games or not. So I think Union's fortunate to have such a good quarterback coming up in their sophomore, Pearson Ellison. So Cole Wright's going to be missed.
Well, you know what? He will be missed, but let me just say this about Union before we close our Monday morning quarterback. Don't forget tonight, folks, follow us, TeamFYNSports, at TeamFYNSports on Twitter. RJ will be over at North Murray giving you all the highlights by the mini playoff game over there, Southeast Whitfield, Northwest Whitfield, and the Pickens Dragons. So you want to tune in, TeamFYNSports. He'll be hitting everything out for you. Also, guys, before we go, I have to tell you, I've enjoyed, now, I'm not going outside the box here, I've enjoyed watching over the 4 years Jacob Brumby develop as a mature quarterback that handles his team. No matter what happens with the Pickens Dragons tonight, I've watched this guy go from having a high-powered running game where he gives the ball off and he's got a guy running for 300 yards in a game to a balanced offense that he's operating this year with some young guys. So my hat's off to Jacob Brumby for, I'm just going to say, what I call the most mature player I've watched over the 4 years. But I want to go with Umberger also as far as hitting. I think over in Dawson, I got to give that to you, Jason. Umberger can hit somebody. Yeah. And so I'm gonna back you up on Umberger, but I'm gonna tell you, I think Cole Wright up in Union, it's a true 2A school. We heard last week they're gonna petition to play down. That's a true 2A playing in a 3A, right? And we heard that they're going to petition to play back down in 2A. Cole Wright under a big front line with a couple power backs behind him, just to keep it, shake it up a little bit. There's no telling what this young man can do. You agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. He's ridiculously efficient throwing the football, too.
Well, he can his draw play is great. His draw play is great, up the middle, 15 yards, and then starts moving around. His takeoff around the side, his stride is like a 3-yard stride. It's just enormous how he can get around an outside of a front line and a defensive line like really nobody I've watched. And I do know all the accolades and things that go with the Trevor Lawrence down at Cartersville. I do know that. But at the same time, you put a Cole Wright in one of those schools in one of those positions, I think he's the athlete that can play anywhere. So what do you say?
Yeah, I agree. On the offensive side of the football especially. Yeah.
You got a last word, Jason?
Just follow us on at TeamFYNSports Facebook. Go like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at TeamFYNSports. I know you're probably about to say all this as well, but this is so important. We're out here working really hard. We want to make sure we highlight these athletes, these kids, in a positive way. And while we're out here doing that, we'd love for the parents to share the photos that we post online, the stories that we share about these guys, so that the word gets around about what the programs and what these students and coaches are doing.
RJ?
Yes, sir.
The Dragons would probably hope to go over to Cedartown, but I will tell you this. If they go down to Cartersville, I got to go down there and watch Trevor Lawrence. I don't want to get in trouble with my friend Coach Parker, but if they go down to Cartersville, I might have to go down and watch Trevor Lawrence play football Friday night. Right, Jason?
Yeah, I'm going to carry maybe a marker and something for him to autograph if I can pull him to the side. Yeah. That guy's going to be playing in the NFL someday. Come on.
Guys, this is Team FYN Sports Monday Morning Quarterback. It is playoff high school football, Region 4, Quad A, 3A, Region 6, and Region 7 there. We've been talking to RJ Casey on the sideline and the Pickens Dragons, and Jason Banks, the head of Team FYN Sports. Hey, regular season is over. It's in the books, but football, high school football, is not over. And let's just go. Let's just go with this. Look for about 2 weeks. Follow us on Team FYN Sports for our winter sports show we're getting ready to do. If you're interested and be a part of just getting on and bantering about some sports, okay, of a sports show, a weekly sports show here at Team FYN Sports, get in touch with us today. Find our Facebook page, send us a message, tell us you want to get involved. Hey, you guys have a great day, all right? We'll see you later.
All right.
Hey, I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a brief break. When we come back, we have elections in North Georgia tomorrow. We have elections going on in North Georgia all over the place. We'll talk about those for a minute, but we're going to get back on Deborah Wasserman, Schultz, Donna Brazile, and the smoke screen that the media is trying to put over you with what took place in Texas. Take us a break, Sam.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
When I think about our day and the time we've spent together and going to sit down at a couple of your business, everything you do surrounds this city.
It
Live,
does.
eat, sleep, work. It surrounds the city of Blue Ridge.
It does. I actually always say this is a live, work, play lifestyle in downtown Blue Ridge.
What are some of the things, if you're sitting out here, you think about as issues if elected city council member?
Well, first of all, if I could tell you all the things I thought about on this porch, I would go on for days. This is a great thinking porch, but you know, I think to put things into perspective, this is the surface view that everybody sees of Blue Ridge, and you know, our residents, the people who come and visit Blue Ridge. But the thing that you know has me most concerned, and that we really need to focus on, are the things that are not surface view, the things that are underground. We've got a lot of issues with our sewer system right now. We have the new water plant in the city of Blue Ridge, which is great. Payments are going to have to start on it soon, but we really need to update and repair our infrastructure. We've got a lot of flooding going on in downtown Blue Ridge, which I know a lot of people are concerned about. So, you know, Blue Ridge today is beautiful as people walk by. So there's a lot of things in the city as far as the infrastructure, planning, zoning, issues like that, that if we're going to keep Blue Ridge the wonderful place that it is, that we've really got to focus on over the next few years.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today. Hey, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. Let's see what we have going on here. Okay. I'm looking up. I know. I was looking. I have emails. We have. I got an email from Murphy, North Carolina. The Cherokee County Commissioners meeting is tonight. The agenda. I was looking at the agenda for that. Anyhow, what? Was she yelling? Why is she? Oh, tell them how to contact. Why are you yelling at me? Just be nice.
You're not listening.
Please be nice. There's no need to yell. Good morning from the office. That's who we are. Well, you know, when we started this morning at 8 o'clock, it was a different kind of day. I was really upset.
Hey, no reason to yell.
No reason to yell. Good morning from the office. If you would like to ever contact us, you can contact us at chief@fetchernews.com. Also, 706-889-9700. That is our phone number. You can get us on that number. Text. You can follow us on Twitter at Fetcher News, at FYNTV. All of our sports, you can find our Facebook page, TeamFYNSports. You can follow us on Twitter at TeamFYNSports. Are we on that Instagram thing too? We're on that Instagram. All right, so you can find us. Well, you can find us on Instagram. Holy smokes. FYNTV Instagram, Fetcher News Instagram. What's the purpose? Can anybody give me a purpose? I don't understand the Instagram. I don't know. What's the purpose? Nobody will tell me. That's the way it is around. They don't tell me. We're just on there. Say, hey, what are we on? We're on this. Why? Just trust me. So we're on Instagram. We're on everything. Okay. Oh, YouTube. If you will find us on the YouTube channel, Fetch Your News, FYNTV, and you'll subscribe every time that we're live. Every time we're live, you'll get a notification. Now, this is one of my favorite pictures, okay? Put up, wait, don't do this yet. Put the church back up in Texas, Sutherland, Texas, I think it is. First Baptist Church there, okay? We live in what I call the it could never happen here zone. Folks, this is not downtown Atlanta. This is not a Home Depot truck running over a bunch of people. This is a crazy ass. I mean, mental ill. This is some crazy ass guy. We're learning major atheist, okay, hated Christians, hated church. There is some of the things we're learning. We'll go into that later. But this little country church, 50 people, I think, in attendance. I'm not for sure. A town of 400. He walks and kills 26. I think that's the death toll right now is 26. I know what you're saying. Your church risk assessment, okay? Your church risk assessment, okay, is on your hip. I understand that, okay? Pro-Second Amendment, okay? We are actually pro-Second Amendment. We do understand that our founding fathers did not put the Second Amendment in our Constitution so that we could have a hunting rifle. We had to protect ourselves against, is it a tyrannical government? Is that? Look it up, see if I got it right. I don't know. Tyranny. See if I got it. Don't look at me from that room like that if you're not going to go to this and see if I got it right. I don't know what it is. Hell, tyrannical Rex government. It's like a dinosaur. We got to...
Exercising power in a cruel or arbitrary way.
I would prefer you say I was right. Oh, you won't go there, right? So obviously, every once in a while, I hit one of the big words. They won't give me my props, but okay, I'll go with that. But we know the Constitution, the Second... Hey, you're still on, live. We know the Second Amendment was not written for a hunting rifle. So that being said, your risk assessment is very important. I'm going to ask you, no matter where you're at today, to call your local sheriff's office. I promise. Wherever you're at, you tell them you're a church pastor or head of the building committee or whoever, if you're the head of the facility, however it works. And you get your membership, your lead membership. Take that out of my ear, please. I know you forgot about it. But you get your lead membership together there, whoever your governing body of the church is, and you get a risk assessment plan. I'm just asking you to do that. I have been a part of that in the past with a church. It's something you need to be talking about, and I'm not going to tell you how to put together a risk assessment plan because I don't want to be liable, and I hate to put it that way for maybe because I don't know your church. But they'll send out a group of deputies, and they will go around the parking lot, the doors, everywhere, and give you what they feel your plan is and where you should strategically place somebody in the church. Now, this is my opinion. Got it? My opinion. Strategically, somebody should be in every sanctuary ready. That's all I'm going to say. And there's a place that you can get your peripheral, whatever the hell it is. All right, got tyrannical. I can't go 2 for 2. Vision to where you got somebody in a couple corners that can do what they have to do. That's all I'm saying. I'll leave it there. Call your sheriff's office. Get that risk assessment today. I'm asking you to please do that. All right, President's approval at 9 months. President's approval. There you go. Now, what you see there is the polling shows at 9 months, Obama was at a plus 17. Bush was at a plus 80. Now, why was Bush at a plus 80? Because sadly, we had I think 9 months in, we were sitting on 9/11. Okay, so his presidency was on 9/11. September was the 9th month. I think that could be Bush's reason for being at plus 80. Okay, at 9 months in his presidency, okay, Bill Clinton was a plus 11. At 9 months in his presidency, George H. Bush, okay, we'll go back to that in a minute, was a plus 56 because we were still coming off a Ronald Reagan high, not a George H. Bush high. So we were coming off that, okay, at 56. Ronald Reagan was 9 months in to his presidency, was a plus 26 because we were glad at 9 months in and happy as hell that Carter was gone and good riddance. And we were just in a good mood to get Jimmy Carter's ass out of the White House and back to the peanut patch. All right. Now, Carter was a plus 21. Why was Carter a plus 21? All right. And I didn't do Obama or Clinton on this, but Carter was a plus 21 when he entered office because we had just gone through a period of time where Nixon resigned, Ford became president from vice president, picked a Rockefeller of all people to be vice president, went to a brokered convention where we realized one day we would need Ronald Reagan to lead us through to the promised land. And Carter was a refreshing, at that time, he really was 9 months in, he was refreshing to the country that something was behind us. That was a feel. Nixon was 27, okay. Nixon was 27. Don't have time to go into detail of that. Kennedy was a plus 65 9 months in. That is the media did that for Kennedy. That's my opinion. I like Ike. I mean, some of you have the buttons out there. I like Ike. 9 months in, Ike is one of the most popular World War II figures, and America's booming after World War II, and how could you not like Ike? And the media, Kennedy. Now, Obama's plus 17, Okay? Obama's plus 17 for when he was 9 months in office. Basically, you just come off the guy to the right of him, George W. Bush, which was a disaster, as Steve Bannon says, the biggest disaster presidency in my lifetime. You can get mad if you want. You can get mad, but in my life, I know. Bill Clinton, oh my God. Obama, oh my God. Let me tell you something. For Republicans, George W. Bush is the biggest disaster in my lifetime. He was not a conservative. I am so tired of the establishment telling me he was a conservative. Bush was not a conservative. Bush increased the debt and laid the groundwork to blow up the debt. You don't have to like it. He laid the groundwork for us having to quantitative ease several times. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like what I'm saying about George W. Bush. But by no means, as you well know, he's no hero of mine. He's no conservative. And he blew up budgets and blew up the debt as well as the guy to the left of him, Barack Obama. And we find out the Bush family, they all got together and voted for Hillary. They all voted for Hillary because they're all in the tank, in the globalist in the tank. So they all voted for Hillary. Now, Obama comes up, he's 17 points in. You know, he's cool, all right, he's cool, he has charisma. We are spinning off of the collapse of all of these major banks. We are spinning off the collapse of 401ks. We're watching grandma. Oh yeah, George W. Bush. Yeah, your grandma loves George W. Bush because that's when your grandma had to go back to work. And you can get mad if you want. But George W. Bush is where your grandma and your grandpa had to go back to work because they had a 401k, had a nice little house in the mountain. They weren't overextended. You know what? They were okay to go out buy their groceries. They didn't bother anything. They had 2 dogs, lived in the woods. But guess what? Their 401k crashed. George W. That's when grandma and grandpa had to start becoming hostess at the Olive Garden and saying, how many tonight? Because they needed extra income. I'm telling you the truth. You think we forgot? Oh, hell no, we didn't forget. So Obama's refreshing in a way. I know you don't like that, but that's why he's 17. So we'll get to the end before I take a little break, because we're going to talk about the Blue Ridge election. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the Blue Ridge election and Hiawassee election a little bit. Now, here's Trump, 22. Negative 22. In the red. Trump is in the red, 22. Now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 presidents, 9 months into their presidency, consecutively in the plus margins. Trump is the first president out of 10 in a row, going back to 8. 10 in a row. That's in the red. I don't know how to explain this in this short of time, but the best news I have for you this morning is Donald Trump's in the red by 22. And he's not leading like the others. Now, as much as I like Ronald Reagan, which you know, okay? There's still some things that took place in the Reagan administration that I'm just not really fond of. Trump had to make a deal with George H. You understand? Reagan. Ronald Reagan had to make a deal with George H. You got to remember that. The establishment went in. Why do you think they're going after Paul Manafort? Why do you think? You keep thinking the establishment's in Trump's campaign, in Trump's White House, running Trump. There's no president out of these 10 that would have stood before the camera Friday before leaving for Asia and said the American people are disgusted with the Justice Department. The American people want to know, after Donna Brazile's book and everything we have seen, why the Justice Department is not going, and he used the name John Podesta, Tony Podesta, he may not use that name, Hillary Clinton, crooked Hillary. He said, and I'm upset also, and so am I, with my own Justice Department. Folks, that's not establishment. Nothing about this establishment. And see, Ronald Reagan had to make a deal at the convention. Okay? Paul Manafort was brought in to make a deal on the delegates and get them over the top. But there was 16 or 17 other candidates. Do you think that Donald Trump made a deal with Mike Pence, and Mike Pence is the establishment? You see, Ronald Reagan had to go to the convention and make a deal with George H. Bush. Okay? And that was the establishment and the globalists. They walked in and said, this is your running mate. That was not Donald Trump's pick. Ronald Reagan's pick. Donald Trump picked Mike Pence. The best news I give you is that Trump's at a -22 for America. And the worst thing for the news is the fear they have he's on the global stage. And what you're finding out as he goes through Japan and he's taking his trip to Asia and everywhere that he's going, what you're finding out is, you know what? They like the President of the United States. See, Japan knows that this is the president that will back them over the whack job in North Korea. All right? They like Donald Trump. They like the President of the United States. Because see, Japan knows what's really at stake with China. And Japan knows what's really at stake with North Korea. They know that. So does Korea, so does South Korea, Vietnam, and the Philippines. They know what's at stake. And they're happy that the person in the White House is Donald Trump instead of Hillary Clinton. Because Hillary Clinton would be the one actually making a deal with Vladimir Putin, okay, and doing something very corrupt right now, not Donald Trump. Hillary wouldn't care what was going on in North Korea unless she could somehow crook it in a crooked way, financially gain from it. And yes, folks, it's not against the law. Let me just say this, I'll take a break. It's not against the law for Donald Trump to meet with Vladimir Putin, Russia. And there's nothing wrong with him meeting with Vladimir Putin, Russia. And there's nothing wrong with him knowing what's on, maybe picking up what's on Vladimir Putin's mind and what he plans to do. So you and I need to thank him for sitting down with Vladimir Putin in Russia and not join in with the globalists that are trying to take him down on a daily basis, attacking him on a daily basis. I, for one, think the president is doing a fine job. I, for one, think he's on the right track. I, for one, do not 100% understand the tax reform. I don't. I've tried. Usually the areas that they say that is for the wealthy, it's a bracket I'm not in. It's a bracket I'm nowhere close to. It's a bracket I'll probably never see in a lifetime. So I happen to enjoy the bracket that says, hey, you know what? This area of the country is going to save $300 this year. Hey, now you're singing my tune. All right. This area of the country is going to, this bracket is going to help small business. Singing my tune. Well, this area of the tax reform bill will pump more money into the economy. Singing my tune. This area of the tax bill reform will repatriate, means one time, bring the money home, put it here. Hey, I don't know. I haven't had time to dig down into that like I should. I just know the brackets they're all crying about are the brackets I'll probably never see. I'm your host, BKP. We'll take a brief break. We'll come back. Little more on Donna Brazile, little more on Awan. I want to talk about, and then the elections before we finish out today. Sam, take us a break.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Broken Bull, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing, is locally owned and operated. Our Simply Noel selection is the largest around. We have a great selection of unique clothing and several lines to choose from for men and women. We carry a beautiful variety of handmade jewelry from Blessed Be and others. All kinds of gifts, starting to carry shoes this fall as well. Come visit us on your next trip to Blue Ridge. We can't wait to meet you at Broken Bull, located in downtown Blue Ridge. Papa's Pizza to Go in downtown Blue Ridge is the best in the area all-you-can-eat buffet. Call ahead or order online now at papaspizzatogo.com. Use our convenient pickup window for the best in pizza, subs, wings, breadsticks, salads, and more. And be sure to check out our lively game room. We serve lunch and dinner, catering available, take out or dine in. Papa's Pizza to Go in Blue Ridge, proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels. The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
This is my hometown. I mean, most of my family lives here. Many of my friends live here now. I'm hoping my kids may come back and live here one day. They're both at college now. But a lot of people ask me, why are you wanting to get into the craziness of politics and running for council? And, you know, I started asking myself, at some point, you've got to give back to what has been good to you, and this has been a great industry and a great town to be in real estate in, and it's just my time to now give back to the community and help Blue Ridge for, you know, the next generation. I think those of us who have kids want to make things better for our kids, and I'm in that same boat. The day-to-day activity in the real estate business, you know, unifying buyers and sellers, negotiating contracts, and at the end of the day, both parties feeling like they're happy and satisfied with the transaction is very similar, that you can relate it to any business or, you know, to the council. So one of my strong suits, in my opinion, is I am good at negotiating and compromising and bringing people together. So it's what I've been doing for 20 years, and I think the council needs that voice of reason that can bring people together, that, you know, leaves all the personal issues aside to just focus on what's best for Blue Ridge.
Okay, we have exactly 30 minutes here left in the show. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. You know, people believe what they want to believe. I had a great weekend because I was able to, it was the first Saturday. 2 weeks ago, we had, 3 weeks ago, we had Apple Festival, Paul's in the Park. I mean, we had so many things. We still have a lot of things going on. And then last Saturday, we had the playoffs. We had the playoffs for the Super Bowl for the youth football, and I was there from 8:30, like 7 o'clock at night. So this weekend was, none of your business what I did weekend, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I watched movies this weekend. It was good. And I had to get back because every once in a while, I have to get to go to my training movies. They're called training movies for me because I'm working on a couple of stories that they're not going to break overnight. They're not. As always, I promise you, they're developing. I'm working on them. But I had to watch American Hustle. You know what I mean? I had to watch. Do you watch? I mean, Irving and Edith. I don't know if Rose. Have you ever watched the movie American? Really? Could you put that on the list of questions when people come in? I need to know that. Sam, how about you? Oh my God, what's with you people? Anyhow, so I had to watch American Hustle this weekend. I had to do that because people will believe anything. People will believe what they want to believe. And people always want what they can't have. Now, the second one, I'll just give you another one. I mean, I can't tell you this show. Like, I watched this show called Benders. Oh my God, I should have never said that. On Netflix. These guys are absolutely nuts. I should never told you that. Benders. If you ever watched Benders, I just know about it. I didn't watch it. And then the other movie I like, Matthew McConaughey. Has anybody ever watched the movie Lincoln Lawyer? I mean, they act like I'm not here. You have never watched that? No. Really? What the hell do you two do? Holy smokes. All right, I got to find other people to talk about my movie selection with. I like that Matthew McConaughey Lincoln Lawyer. I like that movie. So anyhow, American Hustle. I almost watched Casino again. Did you ever see Casino? No, I should never ask that, right? God almighty, I bet you they haven't. No. Anyhow, so moving right along. Remember, people believe what they want to believe, and people want what they can't have. American Hustle. America, you're being hustled. Working on some pretty good sized stories that are coming up here in the near future, but don't have anything I can put to it today. Let me just run through. Now, there are, and I'm going to use a number, and if I'm wrong, let's not everybody attack me on Blue Ridge City Council and mayor race. But if memory serves me right, I do know factually, okay, let me get to this one, all right? So you're probably going to have 500 votes cast in Blue Ridge. 500, that's it. Probably 500. And that's high, but you're going to have about 500. And the candidates have all gone door to door. Now, just so you know out there, I have gotten so many messages. Have I read this latest publication? And have you read this? I have not read one word, not one word. Because what I do know where this election is concerned, there's some things that took place early on, but what I do know where this election is concerned for mayor and Blue Ridge City Council is this is a door-to-door election. This is a door-to-door election. This is an election where the majority of the voters are still from here or have been here some time or have moved into the city from out in the county or whatever. So this is a door-to-door election. Well, people always want your opinion on the election. And because this is a door-to-door, what I mean by that is when you get into the countywide, okay, and you have 20,000 people, we will use roughly, you have 20,000 people in a countywide election, it's hard to go door-to-door. But countywide candidates will canvass every meet and greet they can, every church they can. I don't mean that wrong. They'll canvass every church they can, every meet and greet they can, every cake tasting contest they can. They'll do anything they can to get in front as many voters as they possibly can during the election cycle in a countywide race. Now, there's still some door-to-door, and it's still strong in the countywide. District, let's just say, Speaker David Ralston's state representative seat, a portion of Dawson, Fannin, and Gilmer. He will do everything to get in front of everybody he can, but now it gets into a mailbox and advertising and as strong as it can be, okay? And then you have your district, which is congressional, maybe Senate seats, and so on and so forth. But Blue Ridge City Council and Mayor is still a door-to-door race. And the ones, this is my opinion on that election. There's been some people say things, well, you have not discussed this in the past 2 weeks. My opinion is the candidates will get the votes from the people they went door to door and convinced to vote for them. Not the people I convinced to vote for them. Not the people a publication convinced to vote for them. Not the people, not anything else. The strongest vote will be door to door. That's my opinion. Okay? Now, could I have done things on this show? Could the publications have written things? Has there things been written concerning city council meetings? Do we have almost every single city council meeting for 4 years on video, unedited, up there on video for people to watch? Do we have that for people to make their own decision? Absolutely. And that's the goal of this company when it comes to that. But it's a door-to-door campaign. So if the candidates in Blue Ridge have convinced the people in their homes, because you can go to all 500 houses. You can go to all 500 houses twice, 3 times if you work them right. And you can go and pull the voters list to see who voted last time. And you can get a good idea of who's going to be the next ones to vote. But that being said, the candidates that went to the doors, okay, and convinced the voters to go pull the lever for them is who will win. Now, we have, for mayor, we have Brendan Doyle. I think that's his name. I'm going to get it right. Or Brendan Doyle. He's a business owner in the city, owns the Borough Inn, and he is running against incumbent Mayor Donna Whitener, business owner in the city, okay, business owner in the city, Town and Country Furniture. Mr. Doyle, I've not seen the strength in his campaigning that I have with the incumbent Mayor Whitener. Maybe he is going door to door. I don't know. Have not seen the strength in that. So you have those two to vote for tomorrow. Now, you start out with Harold Herndon. We'll go there. According to Barbie Gerald, according to Weingart, the Superior Court judge, okay, Harold Herndon is running unopposed. Okay, he's running unopposed. Okay. Jane Whaley is the other opponent, but has been removed based on a decision of her residents in Blue Ridge to be qualified to run. So she is arguing that through Frank Moore, her attorney in the Georgia Supreme Court. Don't know the status. So right now, Harold Herndon is basically running unopposed. Next, you have Mike Jacobs. Longtime resident. A lot of people know Mike Jacobs. I don't know if he went door to door, Mike Jacobs, or not. Okay. And Mike Jacobs is running against Robbie Cornelius. Robbie is well known in Blue Ridge, known for years. Most people know her family, know her growing up. So that's the other two choices you have in that race. You will go vote for either Robbie Cornelius or Mike Jacobs. Next will be Nathan Fitz. Nathan Fitz and David Stewart. That's the other choices. That's the next one. When you go to the ballot box tomorrow, you're going to be able to pull the lever or fill out a card. I forget how they do it there, for either David Stewart, okay, or Nathan Fitz. I'm not aware of Stewart's door-to-door campaigning. I'm not aware of what he put into his campaign, but I know Fitz has been out door-to-door working very hard in his campaign. So that's the other ones you have. You have Nathan Fitz and you have David Stewart. Those are your choices. Then next, okay, see where I'm at now. You have Ken Gaddis and Angie Arp. Angie is the incumbent. She's the incumbent council member. There has been a lot of video, a lot to watch on this candidate, and a lot of information over the 4 years of her term. Ken Gaddis is a newcomer. Angie Arp is a business owner in Blue Ridge, and Ken Gaddis is a plumber business owner in Blue Ridge also. That will be the other ones that you have to vote for. That's the next post. Ken Gaddis and Angie Arp. Again, I don't know. Some sources have told me that Councilwoman Arp has not done a lot of door-to-door. That's my understanding. A lot of door-to-door. And so that is your next one. And Ken Gaddis has done, Angie Arp has not done a lot of door-to-door. That is what I understand. And Ken Gaddis has done a lot of door-to-door. So that's your other one. Now the final post, those two there, everybody I gave you, and I'll run them down real quick. Everybody I gave you is who you're going to go see side by side and make your choice as a voter. It's very important that you, the voter, decide and no one else, because this is a door-to-door campaign. Last but not least is Angelina Powell and Rhonda Thomas. Now, they're both business owners in the city of Blue Ridge, okay? They both know a lot of people in the city of Blue Ridge. They both have supporters in the city of Blue Ridge. They both have people that have been working to help them in the city of Blue Ridge. This is probably the most contested race there is out there. The point I want to make here is facts. The fact is, incumbent Rhonda Thomas was the top vote getter, okay, in the last election. Very top vote getter, that's a fact, in the last election. She got more votes than anybody else. Now, I don't know if this is the number, but I'm going to say around 273, and you check, I got to be close. It's around 273 that she received. 3 or 8, I'm going to say with 273. Top vote getter. So, what has to happen here is Angelina Powell has to hope that out of those 273, several of them do not want her to go back in. And Rhonda Thomas obviously has to hope that all 273, for the most part, want her to go back in. Now, this is a race that they've gone door to door. This one's gone door to door. They both have canvassed every voter. And this is a race that you will clearly see, okay, that the person in the living room of these homes is who's going to decide this election. Not me at FetcherNews.com, not a publication and everything that's been written. No, not advertising. Advertising is for you to realize they're running, and I understand that. But this is not the kind of election where the advertising is going to push it over the top. This is the door-to-door. That's my opinion. Now you watch tomorrow morning. I'm going to give you my prediction that I want to play. I don't know when I want to play it, but I have a prediction on what the outcome of the election will be, but I don't want to do it today because I do not want to be a part in any way whatsoever in making any kind of prediction on this election that could change or hinder anything. It's not my goal. Never is. Never our goal here, just to get the voters enough information. So that being said, you have tomorrow morning, you got Harold Herndon when the polls open, close at 7. We will have Team FYN Sports. Hell, it might be a sport. We'll have FetcherNews.com will be there for on-the-minute election results for you to follow. You have Harold Herndon running unopposed at this time. You have Mike Jacobs and Robbie Cornelius. That will be one post you will be voting on. You will have David Stewart and Nathan Fitz. That'll be another post you're voting on. You'll have Ken Gaddis and Angie Arp. That'll be another post you're voting on. You'll have Angelina Powell and Rhonda Thomas. That'll be another post. Is that 4 or 5? Did I get 5? That's 4. Well, who's the next one? Who did I forget? Who? Well, the mayor. Yeah, but there's 5. Let me do that again. The mayor is Donna Whitener and Brendan Doyle. Who did I get out of there? That's your choice, Donna Whitener. Then you got Nathan Fitz and David Stewart. That's one post. You got Mike Jacobs and Robbie Cornelius. That's another post. You got Harold Herndon running by himself. That's another post. You got Rhonda Thomas and Angelina Powell running against each other. That's another post. And then you got Angie Arp and Ken Gaddis. Is that it? And that's it. Okay. Let's move over to Towns County. Just for a brief minute. We had Liz Ordialis was in here this past Thursday. You can go and check out the candidate for Towns County Mayor, our video on YouTube, FetcherNews.com YouTube. Liz Ordialis was here. But what you can go and check out, Robin, that is such a contested race, okay? And let's make sure we share this again on Facebook. What we did is we gave here at FetcherNews.com, we gave both candidates for mayor, Liz Ordialis and the other candidate in Hiawassee, Barry Keith Deering, okay? So Barry Keith Deering and Liz Ordialis, we gave them an opportunity because there's so much back and forth on their positions and the issues in Hiawassee, Georgia. We gave both candidates this weekend an opportunity to write their positions, and we just posted them. So if you're still looking for information on the Hiawassee mayor candidate race, we did a story, Hiawassee mayoral candidates appeal to voters before Tuesday's election. Go check that out. So I'm your host, BKP. Let's take a brief break because I want to come back and I want to finish up with, maybe we'll talk about Donna Brazile before we go. Take us a break, Sam.
I'm Nathan Fitz. I'm running for post 5 seat of the Blue Ridge City Council race. So I appreciate your support on November 7th. So you are in my everyday office, as I like to call it, here at Remax Town & Country, Nathan Fitz and team. We are a full-service real estate brokerage, and I've been doing this for about 20 years now, and I love what I do. I have a passion for this. The people and the friends that I have made from all over the world over the years has really been great. I'm actually glad that you came in this office today because if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to show you something that motivates me every day, and it's kind of new, so it's fun to me. But behind me there is a new piece of art that I have, and it says, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says, "You can't deposit excuses." And I put that up there because it's a good motivation for me every single day, and it helps me push through when things get a little bit crazy around here, which tends to happen. But I also think it could relate well to the council race because there's a lot of excuses going around out there, which a lot of you may know. And at this point, I think everybody's in agreement. We all just need to unify. We need to come together. We need to make Blue Ridge better for the residents, for the businesses. And so I thought that would, be very pertinent to the race as well.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Days Chevrolet in Jasper is dropping the hammer. Over $11,000 off MSRP on new Silverados. Just look what we've done to the price on this new LT Crew Cab. Save over $11,000 and pay just $32,500. And Days Chevy is dropping the hammer in a big way on all new Chevy Malibus. Save over $6,500 and pay just $17,900. The savings are real and they're big at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. All I do is win, win.
Folks, just a couple things here before we close. Let's remember Donna Brazile's book. Let's remember what's going on here. Let's not get caught up into the Paul Manafort. As I told you yesterday, I had a conversation with former homicide detective Rod Wheeler. We both find it interesting that Brazile has come out now. We know it's supposed to be taboo. We both feel that Brazile needs to go further with this. Yes, she needs to go further. What was she afraid of? She needs to go to the authorities. She needs to explain what she was afraid of. Okay. Why did she relate her security measures to Seth Rich? Why? Why was that? You know, a couple more things. We still don't know where Seth Rich's computer is. And this is going to tie back to Deborah Wasserman Schultz. The Awan arrest is giving info, and Donna Brazile knows a lot more than what she's telling. Look what's happened since Awan's arrest, okay? And I don't think this just happened by circumstance. I don't think things are just happening and falling into place now about the dossier. I don't think things are just happening and falling into place now that the DNC and Hillary Clinton had a deal. I don't think things are just happening now, okay? Happening now that the DNC and the dossier paid, the DNC and Hillary Clinton's campaign paid for the dossier. I don't think any of this is a coincidence. Awan, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, and Donna Brazile, folks. Donna Brazile's running cover right now as she's getting out in front of this thing. All right? She is getting out in front of this thing with this book. And don't think she wrote this book and people on the, people close to her do not know what's about to happen or what did happen. And Donna Brazile is trying to come out as the good person because she knows when this ends, the American people are not going to stop until we get everybody on this one. This one we're not letting her get away with. We've let the Clintons get away, and I tell you what, Donna Brazile even knows. That's why Seth Rich's name came up. I will say things here because once they're out there, and I hate to put it like this, if anything happens, then people know, okay? So Donna Brazile has put it out there that her security measures, the threats, the concerns, and even to go as far as murder Seth Rich. Okay, she tried to backstep some things yesterday, but Donna Brazile knows, okay? A couple quick things before we go on this. I just want to pull up a couple articles. Real Clear Politics, Louis Gohmert, hearing on Imran Awan, Wasserman Schultz, IT aide managed. This is her IT aide managed house cybersecurity remotely from Pakistan. And then you hear about the ghost employees when they ran out. In addition to his relatives, also government IT employees are currently being investigated for allegedly involvement in defrauding the federal government as well as compromising sensitive information from congressional servers. Deborah Wasserman Schultz, IT person, which she's the DNC, also ghost employees when they didn't have enough money. When they met the limit that he could be paid, they brought in another family member and kept paying them. Okay, the other one, did Imran Awan turn on Wasserman Schultz's new report suggest he led police to her laptop, okay? This story came out September 7th of last month, all right? For months now, various media outlets have speculated on whether Deborah Wasserman Schultz and her now indicted IT staffer, okay, may have colluded to conceal evidence potentially linked, listen, to the infamous DNC hacks. Okay, you're going to hear them try to run cover, okay, Donna Brazile and all of them, that these were Russian hacks still. Brazile doesn't say anything about Awan, she knows, okay? The DNC hacks. It's the DNC hacks. The DNC, you got to remember, this is a server, folks. The DNC would not even let the FBI look at to see how it had been tampered and hacked. They just said they figured it out on their own. I got to go. This is far from over. I'm your host, BKP. Tomorrow morning, Election Day, all around Georgia, from Dawson to Hiawassee to Blue Ridge to Jasper. Election Day, all over Georgia tomorrow. And we'll get all of the results for you tomorrow night in the areas we cover. I'm your host, BKP. Take us out of here, Sam.